Welcome to Arsenal Above All. I've got Brian with me tonight to discuss that stalemate in Italy, that clunky performance, tough watch, but we'll address it and talk about the big one that's to come and everything else in what's been a pretty again eventful couple of weeks for Arsenal. Obviously, with the news with Odegaard as well. So we've got all of that to discuss. So before all of that, let's go. Brian, how you doing, man? Good to have you back. How you feeling after that?
Yeah.
You still awake?
Oh, well, look. Hence the brick wall at the back there. I was banging my head against it, Mike. It was that type of performance tonight, really.
Yeah.
I think some people will basically think, well, you know what? It's the type of performance we should be showing in Europe, which we probably haven't shown, in years gone by, should we say? But that's kind of back-to-back performances like that, and I'm a
Yeah.
bit fearful of us getting into a rut into those performances in those sorts of games where we're not creating anything. But it's the it's the opening game, should we say? It's the opening game, but nothing to write
Yeah.
home about.
Yeah, they're a decent side. Atalanta, obviously what they did last year to Bayer Leverkusen. I know they've lost a couple of players, but still got the same coach. And very very well drilled, very organised, and tough task away from home. Some people were predicting a comfortable win, but for me, I think it was kind of like if we can get out of there, obviously with a draw, and then we can kind of take care of business when we have our next game, which is obviously against PSG at home in that competition. But what was your thoughts on just the performance itself? The first half. I mean, again, I think you touched on it already. The it's like in the last third, we just seem to be there's no composure there. We're snatching at stuff. We scored the goal obviously last on the weekend against Tottenham. It was a set piece, so again, it wasn't anything from open play. So is that a problem for you? Is that because obviously Odegaard's missing as well? Is that an issue? But what's your thoughts on just the actual overall performance and kind of who stood out for you tonight and who could do a lot better?
Yeah. I think I suppose in some respects you've got to try and take the run of games into levels of context, because I think in the past we've kind of said, does Arteta have that kind of plan B going into different types of game types? And I think what we probably have shown more than anything else is that yes, we know we can defend, that's for sure, and um, games like the game at the weekend, like tonight, and probably like on Sunday, are going to be those kind of games that we've got to just dig deep and dig in, really,
Yeah,
and probably we have to compensate a little bit, or probably on the attacking part of the game, because we may not get those kinds of chances, should we say, but that's where it comes in more than anything else, because we actually have to think about that. We might, people are going to give up chances, and City are likely to give up chances to
yeah,
us
they will.
at the weekend. And if we're not sharp, and we've kind of relatively demonstrated that over the last couple of games, that could come back and bite us. So, as in standouts for this evening, it's the, obviously the goalkeeper. That's
Unreal.
that's unbelievable, unbelievable. When I saw the header, I thought that's it. He's done
Yeah,
such all the good work, and I thought
yeah,
the header's just done him. To claw that away, that was Seaman-esque, and one of him on his own as well, with Watkins as well. So the goalkeeper again, but and then obviously Saliba as well, Gabriel. It's kind of the usual suspect at the moment. It's the usual suspects.
yeah,
It's the usual suspects, and the situation with Martin Odegaard. Yes, we are missing him, but it's kind of weird because we'll probably miss him in games to come in some respects, and probably in the City game beyond.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Because he may not get the time and space against City, but that that option of breaking a line is what we're probably going to miss, and
yeah,
that's probably where Trossard will probably be that individual, really, because when he came on this evening, the game slightly switched. He got on the
yeah,
ball, got on the
yeah,
half turn,
yeah,
tried to play forward, and I think for me he starts at the weekend.
yeah. 100%. I would start him. I think. Yeah, I think Martinelli is he's sort of that's it. He's run out, of chances really for me. The chance in the first half when on his right, he just lashed at it, and he did the same thing in the second half when he had that chance when Sterling, put it through for him. He could have had a nice assist there, but he puts it through, and then he just lashes at it. He's like a little, just clip it over the keeper. He's coming out, just clip it over him. The keeper's going down, and he just. I don't know I don't know what's wrong with him. I think you said in the chat that he just the style of play that we're a lot more structured now in terms of it's not as transitional. When he had that season when he was really firing was when we won the ball and then we just broke really quickly. But what's your thoughts on just how he is at the moment, right?
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. It's the structure of how we are playing now has affected him probably more than most players in that sense at the club at the moment. And I think really probably Arteta probably has to start to look at Martinelli as being more of a possible impact player, and in games we might have to kind of chase, rather than it's kind of we're starting him in games where we're not going to probably get the levels that we're going to need. In those games to kind of do things quite early in the game, really put the pressure on at the moment, where I think he's going to probably end up one of being more of an impact player for us at this moment. Take him a little bit out of the firing line. Don't put so much pressure on him at the moment. But he is a victim of style at the moment. I think he's the victim of style at the moment, and I think in some respects probably taking him out for a little bit might actually help the situation. Give him a run of games where we know that we're going to be on the front foot more,
Yeah,
probably at home. Probably, I know it sounds really bad. You don't really want to say that because it kind of probably kind of belittles him a little bit regarding his own ability, but to playing in games that are going to be probably mid to bottom end of the league, just to get his confidence back up. He's a young man at the end of the day. He probably needs his confidence a little bit more, in kind of games like that, rather than probably get them shot by playing in big games like this at the moment, and the finger is being pointed at him.
yeah. I think Arteta has this thing about he doesn't call them substitutes. He calls them finishers, and I think that's probably you're right. It's probably that's what he needs to maybe become someone that comes on the last 20 minutes when the game's probably a bit stretched, maybe depending on the circumstances. I think he did that against Palace. Was it last year? I can't remember if it was Palace. We beat them 5-0 when he came on, and he scored almost two identical goals where he ran through. It was a quick break, and we went through and he scored a couple of goals. I think it was Palace. I'm not sure, but something like that just to get him going again and take him out, like you said, take him out the firing line, because his decision making again was just really really strange, and he's just overthinking it, and it's hard to see really because we know what he's capable of, but just those two chances, man. I can't get over they were both on his right foot, and the second one is unforgivable. He can't be finishing like that in that situation. He's got to be he's got to be more composed and more cuter in that situation, because we've seen those European nights, right, where we go away from home, we ride our luck a bit, you know, and we especially did with David Raya, or what he did with his saves, and then you're going to get that one golden chance to nick it, and then you go home happy, and that was a chance, that was a massive chance, you know. I think it was 70 odd minutes, you know. Sterling as well, it would have gotten him assist as well, and got him off the mark. But yeah, just really disappointing. But yeah, Brian, you're a keeper, and obviously, you know obviously about what the drills keepers have to do, and what Raya did, you know, tonight was unbelievable to consider what he did that almost similarly against Aston Villa. But what an amazing what an amazing save, and what an amazing moment for him. But that, for me, I was thinking, well, you know, opposition will think, oh Jesus Christ, we're never going to get a goal against this Arsenal team, because if we get past Saliba and the brick wall, which is like what's behind you, then you know we've got to get past this geezer as well, who's jumping around all over the place. But what was your thoughts on that, and what it means psychologically for the team?
I think what David Raya is actually, what he's demonstrating at this moment in time is he's kind of he's the one actually is in charge of that unit, because he is literally the last line of defence. Okay, and he knows, yes, there's levels of security which he's got in front of him with Saliba and Gabriel in particular, but he knows his job. He knows, and that's the most important thing. He knows his job, and his job is basically is that when it gets to kind of not even it is in some respects it is last ditch. It is last ditch. You know, because you are the last line of defence at the end of the day as a goalkeeper, and your reactions are, you know, and your concentration levels, you know, have got to be sound for 90 minutes, because there'll be games that you won't do an awful lot. You won't do an awful lot. And you have to be ready for those situations. And look, I think what I noticed more than anything else regarding to the penalty was when I was watching the game, and you kind of saw him in the goal, and you're thinking he looks quite small, and I'm thinking, how's he, you know, you kind of look to yourself thinking that this guy's going to dispatch the penalty, you know. But the way how he actually makes himself big is by his starting positions. He kind of makes the try. He actually kids the actual penalty taker in that sense, and that's what done him. That's what done the penalty taker in the end. At the end of the day, he kind of kidded him in that way to make that save. It wasn't the greatest of penalties, because you know we know what penalties you've got to hit. Regardless, you've got to hit a corner. You know, they always say hit the inside side netting. There's a penalty. You know, penalty taker didn't actually do that. You know, but you know, Raya kind of kidded him. You know, to make to make that penalty, and obviously to kind of to save it in the way that he did, and obviously the reactions, you know, that is, you know, that's out and out. And what I think we got to give to is probably the goalkeeping coach, and the coaching team there.
Yeah.
You know, you've got to give a lot of credit to them, with regarding to, you know, one, seeing the traits of David Raya coming into the club, and then working them to getting them to such an elite standard as well.
Yeah. It was a fantastic. Again, it's the backroom staff coming up trumps. You know, if it isn't a set piece guy, it's the goalkeeping coaches. You know, excelling. You know, in what they do, and we just need to make sure that we continue in this path, but just sort out what's going on up front, really. Again, Martinelli, but also Jesus. I know he's just come back from injury, but again, for me, kind of, it was like, you know, we've got to play this guy on the wings rather than play him up front, because he's just not giving us what we need anymore. We've kind of moved beyond what we need in that position now. Havertz has kind of shown us what we kind of need in that position, and we missed that tonight. But Havertz was brilliant tonight on the right on the right hand side, and played well I think he was a standout on the players on outside on the pitch. Sorry, rather than Raya. But I think what Havertz has done, he's shown us what type of striker that we need up there.
Yeah.
Jesus isn't that guy. He really isn't that guy anymore. He's just making the wrong decisions. There was a situation just before half time where we broke, and the ball was played to him, and all he's got to do is run down the channel, with it and stretch the game a little bit. But no, he chops back and he just runs and he goes back into the congestion where everything is, and he smashes into Kolasinac. We lose the ball and the chance is gone. It's like little things like that. It's just, if that went to Havertz, he would have pulled it away and allowed gaps to open up behind him for people to run in, or to Rice to come in, or Havertz or Saka to tuck in and come in around. But yeah, Jesus is just making the wrong decision. And they said in the commentary, it's funny how people like Zinchenko and Jesus, literally a couple of seasons ago, they were like nailed on. But now we've moved beyond that. They can't really get in. Jesus basically won't start Sunday. He might be starting Sunday. Havertz should be up top, and it should be as you said, it should be probably Trossard and Rice and Partey probably in there, but he probably might go with Jorginho. Who knows? I don't know. But yeah, just frustrating with him. And again, it's that situation, that attacking situation, the striker situation. For me, is something that we should have really addressed, and we haven't. And I don't know if we're going to do it in January. There's a particular Swedish guy who did the business again yesterday for Sporting, and he's just he just looks insane. And I'm just worried that we're going to miss out on this guy for whatever reason. But so going on to Sunday, Brian, what would your approach be for that one? Because obviously there's still talk about this is where we lost the league last year. We didn't have the right mentality. We didn't approach the game the right way. We didn't go there to win. When you think about it, we had the better chances to score. There were a couple of situations where the wrong ball was played and we almost got in. And we didn't lose the title there. We lost the title. With Fulham and West Ham, our London neighbours, helped us with that, and Villa, of course. But what's your approach? What's your thoughts about Sunday, Brian? Who would you go with?
Well, I think for Sunday, look, as I said, the run of games are always going. These particular run of games are always going to be tight affairs anyway. So, how we've set out for the last two games, not to concede any goals in the last two, where I think we've done really well to get to this stage, to coming up to Sunday. My personal view is it's early in the season, Mike, and it's the first time we've probably played a City side this early, and away from home as well. It's a game where you've got two sides of it. You've got people will think you've got a lot to lose if we lose the game, but realistically, with 4 or 5 games gone and you're 5 points behind with only 4 or 5 points, if I'm not saying that we are going to lose, but if it comes to that, I don't think it's that. People will turn around and say, City will just motor on. City will drop points. There isn't a question about that.
Yeah.
They will drop points. Okay. And that's where we've got to kind of look at ourselves is in this particular game in isolation. Do we go and look to try and go toe to toe? Or do we think that a point is good enough? Because I think, look, we know we're good enough to go and get a point there. That's a start.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's a start. We're good enough to get a point there. But
Yeah.
are we good enough to go and get 3?
Yeah.
And that's the deciding factor, I think, in this game. Are we good enough to get 3 points there? Because we're certainly good enough to get 1.
Yeah. Are we playing well enough in that last third at the moment to get the 3? I think what people are kind of saying, the reason we didn't go there with the right mindset is because prior to that, in that run, we were smashing teams, 6-0 away from home. We were scoring goals for fun. We were banging in, it was ridiculous. This time round, we're not as free scoring as we were going into this. We didn't score tonight. We scored one on Sunday. So you kind of think in that regards, yeah, I think you're right. We are good enough to get a point there, but are we good enough to go to that, on the front foot and be clinical enough to put the chances away? And what we saw tonight and Sunday to a certain extent as well, we're not at that. We're not in that zone yet. So you're probably thinking a point is probably the right approach, and then obviously see what you can do on the counter. But for that to happen, you have to make sure you've got the right pieces in. And I think that definitely would be Havertz up front, and I think Partey again just giving the ball away so much tonight. It was crazy. We were up against it for a bit, and then the ball broke to us, and then we get a chance to, and he just gives it, and it's like, so. And I think when Jorginho, go on.
And you'd think in a game like tonight, a stereotypical European kind of game, that would be the type of game that Thomas Partey would take control of.
Yeah.
And didn't. And yes, I know Atalanta are very much a kind of a very front foot 3-4-3 kind of team.
Yeah.
But with European know-how, playing for under Simeone at Atletico, you kind of take your experience to take a sting out of a game.
Yeah.
And it just didn't. It's just not using that kind of that know-how, that experience, that which strangely enough Jorginho does.
Yeah, because I think when he came on, when he and Trossard came on, we became a lot more technical, and it seemed like a lot more was happening. We seemed a little bit more comfortable. Calafiori came on, and I thought he did well.
Yeah,
he looks all right as well. So again, he's an option. So the options are there, sort of on that side of the ball, but just going forward and like I said, being clinical. So I'm not sure if we are there yet, and whether we will get punished, because I don't think we'll go there and play and be on the front foot, especially with someone like Odegaard not there. It's gonna be interesting, man. It's gonna be interesting to see exactly what he does. But I think you're right. I think we're good enough for a point there, and at this stage, that would leave us 2 points behind them still.
Yeah.
With a lot of games to go, and that game out of the way, they'll have to come to us in the new year, and who knows sort of where we are, where we'll be. Hopefully, form wise, we'll be in a lot better place, because we're definitely clunky at the moment. We're not flowing. Things aren't flowing as much. But yeah, you think he's going to go there and maybe try and contain a little bit and try and see what we can do, obviously from set pieces.
Yeah, I've got that. I don't foresee seeing a great deal of change from what we've seen over the last two games. And I know that's probably cynical way of actually looking at things, and you'll probably get, all of the different types of other pundits out there are basically turning around saying, well, Arsenal are not looking to win games and so on and so on, going for the point, this, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. But we've cried out over the last few seasons with regarding to how we manage games.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And we're doing exactly what we're doing at this moment, is managing games and what we've kind of asked for. The games we need to now have to look at, if we know that we're capable of staying in football matches which are competitive, it's the ones where we should be winning that we're not losing or drawing.
Yeah. 100%. You're going to get the narrative build up now, where they're going to try and dress it up, and is it going to be a great game of football? And if it isn't, it's going to be Arsenal's fault. And our Arsenal are going to come out and play and stuff like that. So you're going to get all of that, all that chat now. Our defense against obviously Haaland, who scored so many goals already against us. We've got such a great defense. So you're going to get all of that. Painting us up as the sort of the dour team, the boring team, who aren't going to try and play and stuff. But it is what it is. When we came out and played on the front foot and we got battered. Was it 4-1 that time in that running? You know, that everyone was ecstatic. They were saying, "Oh, it was great," you know, and they used that to bash us over their head. And then when we changed tacts and we did what we did last year, we got bashed over the head for that. So really and truly, it doesn't matter what we do. We're just going to get it in the neck, regardless. Even if we win, they're going to turn around and use an excuse to say there's a reason why we won. And like last week, Timber should have been sent off, and Gabriel fouled Romero. There's always an excuse against why we did it. You know, someone's going to say that, they're already saying it with the penalty tonight. Oh, we should have put it away, the second header. You know, he should have. It was a great save from Raya initially, but the striker put it too. Do you know what I mean? So they're always looking at little digs, little slight, subliminals to say, "Oh, Arsenal got this, by some particular fortune." But it is what it is. So you're going for a draw Sunday, Brian, or you?
Look, as I said, we are. We know we've got the capabilities of getting a point there. So that's a start off. If we win the game, it will be very late on. It'd be very late on. I can't see us. I cannot see us scoring early in that game in any shape or form, unless it's literally a set piece and it's a calamity of some sorts. But I could see us, late on in the game, getting something. And as I said, it could be a set piece. It could be Raheem could come on and haunt them. Who knows?
Yeah.
It'd make it like a 20-minute cameo and score the winner or something like that, which would be that'd be great. That would. But yeah, look, I think I would, at this stage of the season and with the run of games, I would take the point. I know there's lots of people turning around saying, "Oh, Arsenal got to win the game, got to win the game." No, not this early in the season.
No,
and away from home, you would take a point at the Etihad right now, and any team in that league at this moment in time would take a point at the Etihad at this stage of the season.
Absolutely. And anyone else thinking that they, who any other pundits or whatever that say, "Oh, Arsenal have to win," we just know they're just talking rubbish, absolute rubbish. It's just again to build a narrative to use against us if things don't go the way that they like it or they would like it to go. But yeah, we'll see. So big game to come. Another one. Happy obviously with the point tonight. Not the way it kind of came about. Credit to David Raya, who's been on unbelievable form so far this season and has saved us. One too many times already, maybe a bit too much. You don't want to see your keeper do too many heroics like that. Really, you want the guys at the other end to sort of take care of business. But amazing stuff from him. Another man of the match performance. I'm sure he'll get. We just need to sort out what's happening at the other end. And what a great way to start, if it's on Sunday. But thanks, Brian. Thanks for your time tonight. Quick one. We just wanted to get that one out of the system. It was a difficult watch for everyone, really. But unbeaten starts the season remains, and obviously let's hope we're saying the same thing Sunday night. We'll be back probably Monday night with a review of the City game and more, and obviously look ahead to the League Cup game against Bolton, which hopefully we should see Ethan and the rest of the kids who are on the bench today maybe feature and get a start. That'd be nice for them to be on the pitch. It would be like Arsene Wenger days, where we used to pack it out with the kids, man. It was mental, and used to start balling out and beating Championship and League One sides, 4-5-0. You know what I mean? All doing madness. So it'd be nice to see that again. But yeah, so thanks, Brian. Thanks for your time. Thanks for watching. We'll get this out as soon as, and fingers crossed for Sunday. So come on, you Reds. Newcastle, the central figure again, and he looks to trick